Hey, how are you? Good to see you.
Well,
Those couple of those kids actually reached out to me. We're gonna do a cleanup on the trail, so when we get that date scheduled.
nice. Yeah, definitely, definitely. It was funny. Said it's like, Joaquin, you need to take care of this, and then Mark's like, "No, that's fine." I said, "Yeah, but I'm not gonna correct that shit."
No. And I told the Ricky the same thing. I was like, look, I know it's technically in your area, but it's
Yeah,
fine.
but we're happy to help.
We'll coordinate.
I run my mic through there too.
Yeah, so they were emailing me earlier, and I was like, let's do it, do it.
Cool, cool. Yeah, some of it's just it's a cleanup, right? And you know, the maintenance on there from the Parks Department, it happens, every so often. So
Yeah.
it's always good. So
No, I think it'll be great. We'll get good 40 people. They said that they've got 40 people ready to do that, and I was like, cool, that's even better.
oh yeah. How you doing? Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Good, how are you doing?
Good, thank you.
Doing well. Weekend tonight?
Whenever they're open.
Okay.
Yeah, we got you. We get elected officials up front, so y'all can sneak out if necessary. If you just want to say hi.
Just a couple things to say though.
Busy girl.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, how are you? When I asked Sylvia, I wanted to talk to Sylvia about tree stuff. I was like, hey Sylvia, would you like a tree if we were to put them on the woodside? And I said, actually, no, I'm trying to get rid of all the trees I can because it's like I'm getting too old to break wood. I was like, see, okay, yes. So that's why I'm at.
All right, everybody, if you want to start making your way to your seat, that would be fantastic. Thank you. That's fine. You're good. You're good. You're good.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay. A lot of people, huh? Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. It's good. Plus, this hall is just really cool.
Yeah.
It's super cool. Have you been in here before? Yeah, it's super cool. I was like, I love it. That'd be super cool too. I was just thankful that they allowed us here, but they're like, it's a Monday night.
Saturdays we have DJ.
Well, we won't mess with those nights. Okay, everybody, let's go ahead and get started. It is 6:33 p.m. So we're gonna go ahead and get our meeting going here. So welcome. I see some new faces and this PA system makes me sound really amazing. So I'm just gonna keep going with it. So just saying hello, we're going to officially call to order. We've got some introductions, meeting agreements, welcome. Have some time for our elected officials, candidates for office, treasurer report, secretary report. We got a lot of updates, including a presentation from the Harris County Flood District. I told y'all that was going to be last month, and that was my fault. I was wrong on that, so they're here today. We got other updates to go through, and then announcements from the floor, a little different, and then we'll adjourn from there. So get going. I think everybody can see me online. Oh, hang on. How many of you, this is your first time coming to a civic association meeting? Nice, welcome. Thank you so much. We're so thankful that you're here, and we hope that everything is so informative that you come back and be a part of it. So thank you for coming. I will make you introduce yourself, I promise. So from here, we are going to go through, we're doing this at the super neighborhood as well. And it's just to help kind of create a positive environment for us to work with, and work with each other. So thinking about, as we're talking, thinking about us having positive intent, we all want the best thing for our neighborhoods, speaking with respect. I don't really see anybody here that's going to speak, disrespectfully, but just to make sure we remind everybody that if there's a topic that you feel very passionate about, we want to be respectful, be critical of the problem and not the person, right? We want to focus on the problem because remember, we're all here to do the right thing for our neighborhood. We all love our neighborhood. Ponder what you hear and before you speak. Trust ambiguity. We're not here to debate who is right and wrong. And of course, be mindful of time because as y'all know, I've always got a lot of information for you. So with that, we're going to keep going here. We do have a few elected officials. Just to kind of give a few people a shout out. We've got Marina from Christina Morales' office. We've got Maynard from Precinct 2 online. We've got Clayton from At-Large 3. And then we've got, I'm sorry, Councilmember At-Large 3, in case you didn't know what that was. And then of course we have our own district council member. Joaquin, did you want to say hello? Sure. Come on up.
Thank you, Lindsay. And I know y'all got a long agenda, so I'll try and be brief. So usually I like showing up to civic clubs at least twice a year. My goal is to make sure that you see me, not just my team. My team does a heck of a job nonetheless. But at the end of the day, I'm here so that way I can hear from you. I can see your faces, you can see my face, and then I can discuss a little bit of what's going on. Usually at the end of the year, I speak to what we've done with the budget, where we're at. Beginning of the year, I want to make sure that everybody here knows that the budget will be coming up again. We're right now at about a little bit over 200 million deficit, a little bit over that. This is nothing new. It might be news to some of you all, but it's nothing new. This is going into my third year. For the last, I would say, going 13 years, we've averaged before these last 2 years, roughly about $150 million deficit. We've been closing that budget by selling off property. We've been doing that by projecting that we're going to have so many staff at Parks Department, never hire. And so then that cuts into the budget. Ultimately, what we're trying to do and what we've been trying to focus on is how do we really start right-sizing departments? Specifically, how do we course correct the city? The one department that I'd like to touch on real quickly is solid waste, because that touches you at least every week. At least we try to, right? We know that there's been delays. I think we've gotten better with the regular trash and recycle, but heavy trash. And so quick announcement, heavy trash did not start March the 2nd. I know that was put out in the news. My team has been making sure that we didn't promote that. We didn't want to promote it because we knew that it was going to be too quick of a turnaround and not enough outreach to make sure that we're going to be on time and really hitting the ground running with the on-demand heavy trash pickup. That specific program is something that I've submitted as a budget amendment for the past 2 years. I won't have to submit it this year because we're going to start moving forward with that on-demand heavy trash pickup. Ultimately, and I always ask this question, how many of y'all use bulk waste 6 times a year? Raise your hand. Bulk waste? Bulk waste is like your regular heavy trash. So like a couch or a fridge. Okay, how many of y'all use the tree waste 6 times a year? Okay, and so if you kind of looked around, that's usually the average. about between 20 to 25% of the customers, over 400,000 residents that are customers, really use heavy trash in that manner where it's out every month, every other month, tree waste every other month, bulk waste. And so part of the efficiency study that we did, we paid for almost 2 years ago, was figuring out where can we get better at providing efficient services. This has been the case over all 22 departments. So we look forward to rolling out an on-demand heavy trash pickup. But we're going to be doing it very intentional, making sure that folks get enough information over the next coming months. We don't have a specific date, so until then, please just keep an eye out, or social media for when we will be rolling it out. So the other thing that I'd like to speak to is, as I was speaking on the efficiency study report, we've been really pushing on making sure that we're exhausting all options when it comes to prior to raising a trash fee or looking at your tax rate. Your tax rate 12 years ago, almost 13 years ago, was at 64 cents to the $100. You're now at 51 cents to the $100. So we've seen the tax rate go down. Yes, your property value has gone up, but those funds that we're not able to collect because we've decreased your tax rate now puts us in a stressful environment where more services are being asked for. For example, solid waste, over the last 3 to 4 years, we've increased the number of customers by 45,000 new homes. So we're continuing to do the same thing. We're continuing to try and run the city the way we thought it should be run 15 years ago. We can't do that. And so that's been our focus. That's been my focus since taking office, quite frankly. And so once budgets workshop begin, which will probably be around April, May, we really want y'all to tune in, because then the other question that I like to talk to constituents is, what is important to you? We can't continue to run the city the way we've been running it. And if you want these other services, or you want this particular recycle, you want yard waste, you want illegal dumping being picked up, because by state law, we're only obligated to the black trash can, then we really need to have a real honest conversation, tough conversation about where the tax rate should be. Should we have a trash fee? And if we do, then what does that look like? I'll share this on the trash fee because I've been very vocal about it. Every neighboring municipality has a trash fee. Pasadena, Friendswood, and I think of those south of us because that's closest to my district. Those 45,000 new customers that came in, they call and they're like, hey, I want to set up my trash fee. Guess what? We don't have a trash fee. So they hit the lotto for a bit, but we really, again, need to have this honest conversation. So beginning of the year, I usually like talking about that high level. I want to zero kind of deep down a little bit of maybe some updates that y'all might already have, but want to make sure I share with you. So I'm going to read off my phone a bit. So the Telephone Road Main Street Revitalization Project, which is from Lawndale to 610, will start July 18, 2027. Of course, pending, certain circumstances, usually weather, making sure we get the bid out on time. This is currently in, I want to say it's still in design. So we are going to have a meeting, and then we'll probably be sharing it if we haven't shared it already. On March the 5th, there's a online virtual meeting, Thursday, March the 5th at 5:30. We'll make sure we get it to you all if we haven't already, so that way folks can tune in to share, so we can share some updates, and then also y'all can send some feedbacks as well. The quiet zone on the West Belt improvements, and I'm sure y'all are up to date with these because y'all have Lindsay as our president. Right now, they're between 30 to 60% design. There is a pause to address some legal and safety and operational requirements. But we'll have more updates on February the 19th. So we should be, these are the updates, I'm sorry. So continue to, check in with my team, make sure that we're giving y'all these updates. The Eastern Quiet Zone 1 and 3, they are currently at 60% design. These are 19 railroad crossings. And we are still looking for funding. And I want to say that Congresswoman Garcia has been very gracious to submit this as one of her neighborhood projects. And so we're looking between $1 to $2 million. And then the last one that I want to share, which I know there's been a lot of conversations about FIFA and the Fan Fest. So the Fan Fest is happening in East Downtown, which is not too far from you all. It's 39 days. I was on the phone with somebody right now, and yes, I am a bit nervous, but the city of Houston's been doing everything possible for the unknown, right? We don't know what this is gonna be like, but the city of Houston's been doing everything possible, sitting down with all level of law enforcement for public safety, sitting down with the different folks at, when it comes to traffic, the traffic plan, and so if it had, I don't think it's been shared yet, but that should be shared within the next couple of weeks. And my ask to the FanFest or the FIFA committee is to have a neighborhood meeting, something that they can present to you all, let you know what the boundaries are, let you know what to expect. On average, what they're saying is anywhere between 10,000 to 15,000 a day during the FanFest. So it does make me nervous because we have residents in East Downtown that have trash pickup, and we know we're probably gonna get called because they're gonna be blocked by cars and whatnot. But all that to say is that the preparation is moving forward. They will start mobilizing May the 1st in East Downtown. And so traffic will even be more congested. There'll be more detours. And so the goal with the FanFest, and I've sat down with them at least a dozen times over the last year, is to make sure that we have enough signage, make sure that folks know ahead of time, make sure that, of course, everything's in the media to ensure that even those visitors that are coming, as while they're here, they know what's going on. And so I'll close with that. If you have any questions or comments, I can wait till the end, or I can hang out for a bit. Okay, a few, anybody? Yes. Yes, so what we're doing, and so what we've decided to do is do the traffic study for the entire area. And we've been having conversation with Downtown Plus with Chris Larson. So once we get a good understanding of when that'll be, then we'll start looking at what Leland would look like as a two-way. The funding is there, which is most important, but now it's really making sure that we're doing something very intentional about what the impacts might be north of the George R. Brown and even south of Leland.
I do have one question, if you don't mind, or I'm happy to let Cameron go first. I just wanted to share, there are some solid waste questions.
Yeah.
And I know that we've got those out there, so I don't know if you can answer them now, but that would be fantastic.
Yeah, I can answer them. Cameron, you wanna? So in the MOU, it's clearly established that we'll have that, and I don't remember off the top of my head, but there's at least a year or two, I think, prior to when the cat park will be designed. And so that's when we will start looking at when that community advisory board will be set up. So Downtown Plus is already having some of these conversations. The full funding, of course, it's not there. Right now, of course, the expansion is the focus for TxDOT. And then once, I would say, the thought and just kind of, throwing something out there, we're looking at least a handful of years from now. Yes.
Two questions, two subjects. One is about the quiet zone funding, because I remember when the initial ordinance came from council, there was a mention of Harris County increasing $2, helping to pay for some of the structure of the quiet zones. There was some sort of a precinct 2 connection possibly.
I thought it was
That's for so not for the quiet zone. That was for the triangle study is what precinct 2 gave money for. So we gave, goodness, you need to test my memory.
need to go back and look, because I thought it was specifically to help you with the quiet zone. This is before the rail study was announced, so we'll go back and look.
Yeah.
We get off on that Sunday.
So there was no funding. Since even on staff, we never received any funding for quiet zones from precinct 2. We've been pushing Congresswoman Garcia. She's now interested in providing some of that community partnership funding. But the precinct 2 partnership was specifically for the rail study.
The question, the reason I wanted to clarify was because we've been asking to try and find out more on the cost of those quiet zones. And we heard from one group that it would be about $1 to $2 million. But then we heard from another that it might be $1 to $2 million per crossing at 19 crossing. So I'm trying to figure out what's the total dollar amount.
So it's
how we lobby for.
So this is for the actual construction part of the quiet zone. Each intersection, wherever you have basically the silver boxes right at the tracks, those are $500,000 to upgrade and whatnot. So every crossing that has that's where that larger number comes in. This is specifically to make sure that you're able to address any cars trying to move around the actual arms. So raise curbs, sometimes bollards, depending on what the design looks like. That's gonna be specifically for the construction, of the infrastructure for the quiet zone.
So just to clarify, not to put too much of a point on it, are we about $2 million away from completion or about $19 million? If there are 19.
No, $2 million.
Okay,
Yeah,
no, that's clarification.
Yeah, yeah.
The second was about the combination of schools and the Lantern property, and Cage and Chrysalis are advancing to Lantern. I know we've seen a lot of stoplight running at that intersection of Kinney and Eastwood.
Mhm.
And I know that the Kinney Street between Lockwood and Cullen was recently downgraded from a major collector status to a minor, which now would open it up for speed cushions. I wanted to just get with your office at some point about the idea of a piecemeal completion of those speed cushions to help, given that so many extra kids are gonna be going to Lantern.
Yeah. We're happy to do that. I think, so we did our first round of speed cushions probably about 6 or 7 years ago, and then we added a few more. So we're happy to understanding the current circumstances as well. I would first suggest that no matter what, submit an application, so that way we can already get it documented. Trash.
Yeah, I think there's been a question, there's been two lingering questions. One is that there's some people that still haven't had their heavy trash pickup, so let's just say it starts next week. It's not gonna start next week though, but just
Yeah.
hypothetically, if it starts next week. If somebody calls in something that's related from
2 months ago.
2 months ago, does that count against their core?
Okay, I'll answer that, to the best that I can right now. Of course, we'll confirm, but my push to the director would be that wouldn't count to the 4. We still are, December work, backlog 3 months prior to that. And so again, that's not gonna be what I advocate for, so.
That's cool. And then the second part is a lot of people have questions about tree waste. That's not necessarily heavy bulk trash, but is just tree waste. Is that separate or is that gonna be picked up the same way it had been?
So right now, even though we have alternate months, you can put tree waste out with bulk waste. I would assume that you can put out the bulk waste with tree waste. So as of right now, that would be part of the 4 pickups.
Tree waste is part of the bulk pickup.
Yeah.
Okay, that's helpful to me.
Okay. All right,
So you get 4 pickups per address, and that's tree or bulk. So you
Correct.
get 4 times the.
correct. Because you could put tree and bulk together. And this is what I'll say. So it's this on demand. This is one reason why I was very hesitant to start so quickly. My team has been working with solid waste since October of last year to figure out what that messaging would be. They wanted to start in January. We told them no, the holidays are gonna really not allow us to do the right type of rollout with communication. And so when we found out that it was gonna be like this, there's huge pause. The first, what we've gotten, because this is not anything new, other cities have done this or do this, is that the first 3 to 4 months, everybody puts out their heavy trash and everybody calls 301. So there's gonna be some natural backlog. I say that because the 4 pickups, it might not just be 4 pickups, it might be 6 pickups, but we want to put some kind of clear limit, knowing that again, 25% of the folks use this service altogether.
I have a request that like somebody from Solid Works comes to this meeting in
Yeah.
the future.
Yeah, we can, if y'all want them next month, JP's here, we can push to have them there.
But ideally, we get somebody, I think we talked about it at the Super Neighborhood Alliance meeting and they were like, oh no, we're too backed up. It's like, guys, so.
No, but they need to be here so they can share why they're backed up. It's a whole bunch of reasons, whether it's infrastructure at our transfer stations. If it's our heavy trash trucks, actually, on average, they're supposed to be around for 5 to 7 years. Our average is anywhere between 10 to 15 years that we have our trucks. So it was common to see some of these trucks on the freeway and on fire, unfortunately. So there's a lot of work that needs to be put in, and we need to invest in this department. So I think it's fair for them to share some of that information with you all as well. All right.
The, half on demand, there's 400,000 households.
Yeah, a little bit over 400,000.
So if each one calls times a year, it's 1.6 million calls. That's more than 4,000 a day. How will that affect our ability for other things for food?
I don't think it'll affect it, and honestly, we're getting a lot of calls right now for missed trash, right? And so again, there's gonna be a level setting that's gonna happen. I don't think it'll cause any backlog again. If in here, I saw 2 hands raised for both. Those are 2 calls that are happening rather than the 1 point that we could assume that we're gonna have every day when it won't happen every day. Okay. All right, well, thank you. It's good to see you all. Just want to say that, you know, whether it's JP or Sally that show up to the meetings, know that we're here to continue to hear you and work with you to make sure that Eastwood, you know, is thriving as well. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming. All right, so I think Clay, did you want to say something really quick? Yeah, just really quick.
I've just got a couple of quick updates. I'm Clay Britton. I work with Councilmember Twyla Carter. She's at large, position 3. Couple initiatives she's working on right now I wanted to share with you this spring, actually in the next couple of weeks or so. We're going to be starting out Carter Ambassadors, which is a great opportunity to volunteer with a lot of the major nonprofit organizations in town. In the Houston Food Bank, the Kids Mills, there's a new one that we're partnering with called Clothed by Faith that provides clothing for our underprivileged children to make sure they have clothes to go to school. And a lot of great opportunities to get a large group of people together, get involved in the community. So if you're interested in that, I'll come back and I'm sure Lindsay and Amy know about the details so they can share them as well. But I'm also happy to answer any questions afterwards too. Councilmember Carter had the Houston Astros Foundation volunteering program too, which was really successful. So we're hoping to carry that over and have some success with that and get involved. The second initiative I'd like to talk about is one that we're having our second meeting on the 24th of this month. Is 4 nonprofit organizations who focus on individuals who are reacclimating back into society after domestic violence, human trafficking, former incarceration, as well as substance abuse. So this second event is going to have about 50 plus nonprofits around the community that focus on that. So if y'all know of any nonprofits who work in that area, please let me know too. We'd love to invite as many as possible. But I will remain here through the whole meeting. If y'all have any questions at all for me or would just like to get to know me, I'd love to get to know y'all as well. And my name again is Clay Britt. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming. All right, so I just wanted to double check here. Do we have, skipped ahead of myself. Sorry about that, man. Do we have any candidates that are running for office? All right, just making sure. All right, so we're gonna move to our treasurer's reports. You wanna come up, Matthew, and say hello?
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Matthew Donovan. If y'all have not seen me up here last month, I am the treasurer for the next 2 years. So at every meeting, we just give an update on the status of our bank account to make sure that we have transparency into what our funds are, what we've spent, and then what we have in upcoming expenses. So right now we have $32,341 in our account. We have spent $175 so far this year. Most recently, we renewed our Zoom. So for all of you that are virtual, and that's why. And then one of the things that we have is on a go-forward basis, I want to show kind of what pending expenses that we have. So commitments that we've made or money that we've wrote or checks that we've wrote, but have not been cashed yet. So we have about $3,400 on pending expenses, including the new projector. So y'all can actually see the screen this meeting, which is good.
Right.
And then the other 3,000 is the donations from last year's home tour. So we typically donate about 20 to 25% of the proceeds from our home tour. And then this year we donated to a couple different organizations, but the main one is that we are now a sponsor, or we are a sponsor that enables 2 scholarships through the Eastwood Chamber of Commerce. Last year we did one and the student went to Yale. This year we're doing 2 $1,250 scholarships. So part of our charter as a group is to give back to charitable forms, including education. So we're excited that we can be in a position to do that again this year. Okay, thank y'all.
Thank you. And then next we have our secretary's report.
Yes.
Yes.
I took notes. Don't want to read down?
Yeah?
Okay.
I don't know if you need me to help. If you need help, I can bring you one of these guys. This is why we have this, right?
So the last meeting, we welcomed members, we had our treasurer's update. announced our board computer calendar events for the year. And we reiterated our general meetings are the first Monday of the month with the exceptions. We had a survey on communication and introductions and descriptions of each of our meetings. And ran through our priorities for the year, which are extensive, and had quite a good conversation on all of the public works projects happening in our.
Cool. So is there, I just need a motion to approve the minutes. Need a second? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, perfect, thank you. So we've just passed that, so we can document that. And then, so now we're gonna move into some cool updates. I'm gonna let our speaker Jeremy come up first, and then we'll go through, we're gonna talk about solid waste, but we can at least go through what will come. And then HISD closures, Metro Fair update, McKinney sidewalk project, Franklin underpass update, and the minimum lot sizes. So you wanna come on up, Mr. Jeremy? Have fun.
Always. Here's my, did he leave this up here? That's yours.
Oh, these are mine. You can just, you can
Let's put that way.
Okay.
Oh, good evening. I think this is my first time with this. Is this the same group that meets over at Magnolia?
This is a different.
Okay, first time meeting you guys. Good evening. My name is Jeremy Radcliffe. I don't have a formal presentation, but what I wanted to do is just kind of give you a little bit of background on what my role is at Flood Control District, give you a little update on our upcoming mowing schedule, talk a little bit about the encampment removal policy that I had the pleasure of kind of working on and getting that started for flood control. So as you said, Jeremy Radcliffe, I'm what you call a precinct coordinator at the Flood Control District. So each commissioner's office has kind of pretty much a liaison that works between the precinct and flood control. So instead of the precinct having to work with 200 people at flood control, they always start with me as a point person, and I kind of get them in the right direction there. I've been January, May, 32 years I've been with Harris County, so I got a bunch of experience, been in a lot of work, that experience in the commissioner's office, and was able to bring that over to the flood control side and help out a lot of residents there. So in my role as a precinct coordinator, I cover everything in precinct 2, pretty much from East Aldine all the way out to Baytown, everything in between. So Pasadena, Deer Park, Channelview, Seabrook, Shore Acres, all those little cities down south, I cover all those areas. So you see me in the office a few days out of the week, but most of the time I'm out in the field trying to put out fires and make connections with groups like this here. So real quickly, I want to just kind of touch on a couple of things here. Our mowing cycle is starting up usually starts in April, and it's usually for our flood control channels, it's mowed 3 times a year. So usually our first mowing cycle is sometime around April, early May. The second cycle will be sometime around the middle of the summer. And then that last cycle is usually around October, November. Then in the winter time, when it's kind of dormant, they don't mow the channels at that time. Buyout lots, which I did a check. I don't think you have any over in this area, but we do have buyout lots all over the county. Those lots are mowed 10 times a year. We're doing it 8. We were able to increase it to 10 through some of the Prop A money that was passed through that tax increase a couple of years ago. What else did I want to talk? One thing you might have saw also in the news, Map Next. That is something that is a hot topic. It is a FEMA-led kind of redoing of the maps. They hadn't been updated since Tropical Storm Allison. So there's been a lot of improvements. A lot of things have been built good and some not too good. And so if you go on while FEMA's on the lead, we are the local technical experts for flood control district. So if you pretty much go on our website, you'll see a drop-down box where you can put in your address and kind of see where you stand, where you were, where you might be. The maps are not finalized, but the information on there is pretty, it's the most up-to-date information we have from FEMA. And it's kind of good that they've been willing to put something out because it's been a while. They've been working on these maps. The public has been asking. And so we're coming out, we're going to have some community meetings. There'll be a lot of outreach. I think the maps are probably a couple of years from even being finalized, but this is just the first step in that whole process of review, comment period, and all of that stuff there. So more to come on that. And the last thing I want to just touch base with you on was Commissioner Garcia, about a year and a half ago, we're getting a lot of complaints, not just his office, a lot of your office too, council member, of encampments. We have a lot of channels, especially in White Oak, as you get closer to downtown, but we have residence homes that back up right behind these channels. And you have a lot of people that have set up, you know, unfortunately, unhoused people have gotten back there and, you know, set up shop and truck stop at Love's on 45 is a hot spot. And so we were able to put together a policy pretty much as the flood control district. We are not law enforcement, but we do have to work with either HOD or the sheriff's team. And we also try to work with other coalition for the homeless to make sure they get some resources too. So because it's a fine line, because one, they are trespassing. They shouldn't be on their property. But at the same time, our goal is not to try to make homeless a crime. They're in a tough situation already. But at the same time, being back in some of those waterways is not a safe place to be, especially during a storm like we had with Beryl. That was a wind storm. If that was a water type of event, we would have had a lot more loss of life with these people in some of these areas. So that policy kind of put a little framework on how we kind of address that. Right now, we have 24 active encampments across Harris County. I'm talking from Katy all the way. So it's starting to slowly rise up and be one of our #1 issues. Outside of drainage is starting to see encampments, and that's just because a lot of people are building a lot closer into downtown and some of these other outlying areas. They like being on our channels out there. So I'll kind of be quiet now and see if there's any questions. There's always one or two. If I don't cover it, I think I'm gonna leave some cards with you too. I know people like to email me after the meeting. Yes, ma'am. Hey.
Encampments, what constitutes an encampment? Is it a certain number of people?
Yeah, typically it's like I forgot to have a term that they use where you have belongings there, but usually I would say somewhere between 3 to 5 people consistently living, you know, not they see them there one day, then they're gone. Most of the time, these encampments they put out furniture out there. There's one over on Jensen on the north side where these guys have been stealing electricity from someone adjacent, and they set up lighting, and it's a whole different world. So like I said, when we go out there, we're not law enforcement. So anytime we go, we always have to take HPD or the sheriffs. They actually get them resources, and then flood control does a cleanup. And we have like a contractor that does like hazmat cleanup, because a lot of this stuff is you know, it's not just your regular household debris. It's a lot of bad stuff. Hopefully, did I answer that? Best? Great. All right. Yes, sir.
Harris County Flood District does the cleanup of those encampments once they're.
Yeah, through a contractor, yes. Yeah, if they're on our right of way, the first thing we do is find out, because a lot of times we text that, it can be City of Houston. Once we verify that it's on our right of way, we have an obligation as a property owner to go ahead and get that cleaned up. We don't, we get out there, we give it law enforcement, we give them some time to move their stuff. It's a real, you know, it's no fine way to do this, because you're not going to solve the homeless problem, but you still want to do it with some grace and dignity and not make, like I said, making homeless be a crime, and give some time to move their things. But at the end of the day, they are trespassing. All right. You back to me?
Thank you.
All right. Yep. I'll be the first one to fall today.
Don't do that, please. Well, thank you so much for coming and speaking. It's always super helpful to hear updates from the county, because we do have multiple municipalities, right, that we work with. So we're going to walk through. We also have a giant bug on the thing, so we're just gonna work around it. So we talked just a little bit about this. The council member already kind of addressed that the new on-demand system. I think the original idea was that it was going to start today, but it is not starting today. So please, we'll put that out on socials. It did not start today. I think just to think about it, residents can call 311 or use your app in order to report that. So when that does come in, make sure you got the app installed or that you have the phone number so that you can contact it and get through. Each address is supposed to have 4 heavy trash pickups per year. And ideally, I think the goal, I'm sure at the beginning, it's going to be a little bit more, it's not going to be right on time, but the goal is that it's going to be within 5 days of contacting 311 that you will get an appointment to have your trash picked up. And I overheard a rumor, maybe you can clarify. Somebody said that there's actually going to be a picture to confirm that it's been removed. I don't know if that's the case, but that would be cool.
I don't know if
it was just a rumor, so I don't want to be sharing information here. So I guess you can contact 311 via phone, or you can use your app. I use my app all the time, so please feel free to use either one when that does come up. So I think just really wanted to touch on how many of y'all know about the HISD closures. So it's a good chunk of y'all, but I think just to kind of walk through what this was, HISD state appointed board of managers voted 9-0 last week up to close or consolidate 12 campuses. This is going to take effect at the end of this year. And there were quite a bit of people, including some people in this room, who went to that board meeting to try to, do what we could, right? Because a lot of these were in the East End. So the claim from HISD is that there is declining enrollment. I do believe that probably has some truth to it. The deteriorating facilities, rising maintenance costs, and budget pressures. Just a reminder that HISD has been under a state takeover since 2023, and our elected trustees have been sidelined and they have no voting power. And residents right now have no direct line of accountability to decision makers, which is why we have to rely on our council member. I don't even know if the city can force anything there. I think that they're pretty limited on this particular issue. And then elected trustees who spoke at the meeting were ignored. So I guess just what happens next, right? So at the end of this year, students are going to be reassigned and they're going to be receiving their campuses of what that looks like. Families can opt into HISD school choice program for alternatives. Teachers at affected schools will be notified of assignments by April 17th, and a special committee will gather input on future uses of those properties. The super neighborhood did request of the board of managers. I don't know if this is going to happen. A few things is one is that I don't know. I know Amy has done a lot of research on this, but a lot of those students, if you follow their routes, they have to cross active railroad lines, and their routes are like really long, and sometimes they don't have sidewalks, and they also have to cross like highways. I say highway, speaking specifically like US 90, right? And I mean, everybody knows how fast those cars go, and there's a lot of lines that are on the high injury network, meaning they already see high fatalities and critical injuries to pedestrians and bicyclists passing through. So like you're putting little kids on these routes. I think I heard that they're going to be giving shuttles for at least 2 years. I don't know what happens after that, but at least maybe that might be solved for. But just thinking about that, because we don't need any more kids crossing active train tracks as much as possible. So if there are meetings that come up and you have a very strong opinion about this, definitely attend those meetings. I said that you can contact your city and state representatives so they can collect this feedback, or you can call HISD for the resources. Now I did, if y'all want to take pictures, I literally dropped in all of the contact info. If you do want to reach out to this is just one slide. So there's two. There's another one with a lot more info. I know it's tiny because I put so many on here. But we have our state rep, Christina Morales. We have our district council member. We put council member Castillo because I think some of them do cross over into his area. And all of our at-large council members, which also represent you as well. So if this is something that's very important to you and you have a very strong opinion or just maybe a little opinion or comment, you can reach out to those individuals. Everybody got? Okay, cool. So there is a Metro Fair update. I do see Jeanette here. I was just making sure that we covered this because I still have not updated my Q card. Your Q card that you used to have, that system is changing. So that is coming up pretty quick here. April 4th is going to be the full discontinuation of that Q card, which means I've got only so much time that I need to do that, but I'll figure it out. And also just so that like if you have reached the glorious status of having free rides through your, just because you're a senior, you're retired, you got ready to go, you're going to get the same benefit, right? So this is just for the people who are moving from the Q card over to the new payment system, which you can do through the app, or you can get a new card. So all of this is taking place starting to yesterday, March 1st. And then of course will occur, the discontinuation will finish up on April 4th. So I put a lot of info on here. I don't know, Jeanette, if there's anything I'm missing.
Great job.
Yes. That's correct. So you do need to go to a ride store to do that. A ride store? Like the downtown transit. I think there's one over here. Can you do the transfer of the funds from Q card to at Kroger?
Never had the opportunity to use it or something, it's been there for 30 or 40 years.
Yeah, so from what I understand, HISD is intending to sell those properties, and I think they're intending to sell them pretty quick. We ask if they can stay in the hands of the East End, however that looks, if that's, you know, with our city, or if that's something else. I don't think that that's going to happen. Amy's shaking her head at me. Yeah, why not?
No, I'm glad I stayed behind. No, so some of y'all might remember the Rufus cage fighters like 15 plus years ago. And so to answer a little bit of what Lindsay was saying, any of the Jew schools, will they come under city responsibility? This one fell under the city 15 plus years ago. It's been tough to try and figure out what to do with the facility, what nonprofit, what organization, but we are getting close to some kind of a agreement where we're putting out a RFI. So that way folks can submit. There's about 2 or 3 different groups that are interested in wanting to keep the main building for the community, but then see what they could do with the outer part of the building, the outer part of the property. We have to remember that, you know, whoever decides to take this risk or investment, they're going to want to see a return. There's one that is not trying to see a huge return, that's looking at housing. Another one is it's a developer that is looking to, we don't have an exact details, but they've done other warehouses where art is located. That's the most I could probably share. So it's actually, it has good structure. They replaced the roof about almost 12, 15 years ago. So it was able to preserve from the elements inside. Folks that have already seen it, we've done some initial like investigations with architects. We've done some environmental tests on the property as well. We've done this over the last 5 years. So we are at a good space where we can probably do something. Before we actually fulfill what that looks like, we will be sharing with everybody, just so that way everyone knows. But it's been hard to keep that property on the city's inventory, because the cost of maintenance, you know, cost of initially before the last 5 or 6 years, we used to have a squatter in there. So having to go in and make sure it wasn't burned down. So it's become more of a liability. So we're trying to salvage the building the way it was intended initially. I don't know if we're gonna be trying to pick up any new property. It belongs to the city, at least for the last 15 years. Yes. And we'll give y'all more information once we put out the RFIs, just so that way y'all know what's happening.
Cool. Thank you. All right, perfect. Moving on here. So there's a lot of words here. I promise I'm not going to make y'all read all this. So the McKinney Sidewalk Project, if y'all remember, East End District is going to be redoing the sidewalks on the north side of McKinney between Cullen and Dumble, and then one little bit on Eastwood Street. So this project, they had to go through a rebid process. Just there was some issues with the previous bid, so they're going to go through that. And the good news is that they just voted last week to approve this bid and this contractor, so they are moving forward. They are looking to start next month, and then that project is supposed to take roughly 6 months. So just letting y'all know about where that is, and that should be moving forward. How many of y'all know about the Franklin navigation underpass that comes right out of downtown? Yeah. How many of y'all remember it's been flooding recently? Okay, so we did hear some interesting feedback last week. The way that system works is it has a drainage system underneath it that is supposed to prevent that flooding. And it was supposed to follow a outfall line, so to speak, that went out towards the bayou. And they found out that the outfall was not happening. They're apparently during some kind of construction, it got blocked. And so the city of Houston is working on fixing that, which is just good to know, because we definitely need as many ways in and out of downtown as possible. So that should be fixed as soon as possible. We are keeping track of it, but just making sure that y'all know that they did identify the issue. The outfall was blocked, and they are going to be fixing it. And then the last thing, I think y'all remember last month, we said that Harris County Precinct 2 did go for an application. They submitted an application for a grant for a Lockwood underpass. And I'm just letting y'all know that we were not awarded that. I personally am okay with this right now because we do have the East End Rail study, which is the triangle study to actually do a feasibility at these different crossings. And we want to make sure that we have time to review everything with the community. So just letting you know that that happened, or did not happen, I should say. Any questions about any of these? All right. So I just want to hand this one off to Ian for a little quick Polk Street update.
Lindsay did not even confirm that I was going to be here, but I am pleased to give this update. So as y'all know, Polk it has gotten a lot harder to get into downtown. I don't know if y'all have felt this personally, but Polk has been closed downtown since last fall, going into winter to vehicle traffic. It is still open for the time being for people walking and biking. The supposed agreement is that will be open for people walking and biking for a year post-closure. So we expect that to be into the end of this year. We'll still be able to walk and bike into downtown. After that, the plan is that the GRB will be expanded and there will just be a building on Polk Street. There was the first vote of that. There's a 2-vote process for the abandonment of the street. The first vote was in October. That was kind of the preliminary vote. We have not had the second council vote. This is city council that has to vote on this. So there still is one more vote. We don't know when that's going to be scheduled. Oh. So there is another vote coming at some point. And what we really wanted to get in as community members was the things we would like to see council push for before they vote again to give up that right of way. And so what had happened before the previous vote was that there was this concept of a memorandum of understanding, an MOU that was put forward to council to give them some confidence that they could vote on this. That had not been circulated to any constituents beforehand, and in reviewing it, there are a lot of community members who had a lot of concerns about that MOU, that it did not feel like it had a lot of teeth to actually make sure that we were going to be made whole. Because I think most of us probably who live on this side of town know it's hard to get in and out of downtown, and a lot of us probably really enjoy the fact that we live so close to downtown. And so we wanted to make sure if they're taking away this street, give us something in return. That was what the MOU was supposed to do. What we've counted, we've been working on a revised version 2 that respects what we think are the inherent thought processes behind that first MOU, but then to try to really give it some teeth. And so we have been talking with a number of elected officials. We talked with State Senator Carol Alvarado. She had recommended that we submit these revised MOU language to Mayor Whitmire, which we did last week. We're still waiting to get feedback from the mayor's office to make a second meeting with them to talk about what the community can get from this. And what the table right here shows is basically this MOU is the MOU was just a 2-page document. It's really pretty minor, it's just bullet points. And so our 2.0 is on the right. So we're looking for a little bit more concrete details in terms of this community advisory board. That idea will be that when TxDOT comes through, does their I-45 construction, eventually there might be some opportunities to reconnect some of the streets through in the context of the I-45 construction and the GRB future phases. We want to make sure that the East End community has a voice in that because we're being cut off. We want to make sure that we have a say in that. And that's why I think there was a question earlier about that community advisory board about when can we start meeting? According to the first MOU, that'll happen eventually, but there's no reason it couldn't happen sooner. There's no reason we couldn't start having voices talking, brainstorming about how we want to get back into downtown. And so it's basically both when that community advisory board starts a meeting and also what the composition would be. We want to make sure that there's firm, good community components to that. We want to make sure that if there's any more changes to the infrastructure that impact us, we have a very powerful say in that. partially because one of our concerns is that the MOU signed right now, we want to make sure that we can believe that it's being proposed, presented in good faith. We want to make sure it's strong enough so that if as current elected officials go on to other things, and we have new elected officials in the next 5-10 years, that they still have to honor this agreement. So that is what we are pushing for right now. We can share our MOU refinements. Anybody who wants to see it. If you want to reach out to council members, elected officials to say, please do more for the MOU, that can't hurt. But that's where we are with Polk Street right now. So thank you.
Thank you. So if this is something you wanna get involved in, you can talk to Ian, or you can contact your council member if you have a strong opinion. Either way, just definitely something to keep in mind. So something else that's been going on, and I'm gonna do my best to explain this. Do y'all know what minimum lot sizes are? I see some head nods. Minimum building lines. Okay, so what we've been doing is we've been working on a quest to try to get as many lots in Eastwood covered by the minimum lot sizes and the minimum building lines. And the reason that we are doing this is because it can help prevent prolific townhome development. Because the townhouses, the developments, when they come in, they will often subdivide the lots into teeny tiny lots, and then they will build on those lots as individual houses with a very small footprint. So with these ordinances that we get in place, they have to be done literally block by block. You have to petition block by block and get all of the signatures in order to do that. But the cool thing is that completed as of now is what they're calling the entirety of the Eastwood Annex, that South Leland, Keys, Carby, North Coyle. There were 14 petitions in there that are done. That means they don't need anything until 2050. Okay, that's a huge, huge thing. Right now, there are a couple in progress. Y'all have probably seen the signs. You do have to put up the signs for the city to acknowledge that. We've got like the 44 to 4500 Walker, north and south. 4400 to 4500 McKinney, north and south, and then upcoming now we've got 4100 to 4200 Clay, north and south. So we are just trekking through these. If you know Paul O'Sullivan, he is the one that has really been spearheading this, but we have him working with our quality of life committee just to make sure that he is fully supported and getting everything he needs so that we can continue to protect the neighborhood from prolific townhome development. Are there any questions about that?
Just a point of clarification, we've had a lot of people asking about signatures. How do I sign? All of the items that you see on the board are talking about renewals of existing rules. So we're not creating any new rules. These are just extending the duration so that they're good for another 40 years. So essentially what that means is the notices that you see on the posters are saying if you object to these rules continuing, here's who you call. And as long as no one objects to those rules, they will be likely renewed by the planning commission. But if you were a homeowner who does not want to keep that in place, those signs tell you how you can get in touch with the planning commission so that that particular block doesn't have to restrict you in the future.
Is there any way that we could know if people are objecting to that?
The planning commission. They'll have it in the meeting. They'll have it here.
You have to, yeah, I think you have to go to the meetings, which are like every week, and they're like 8 hours long. They're very long. For me, they're always
Is
long.
there any concern that there could be lots of people objecting to that conversation?
I don't think that that's an issue. Was that to get them going, like to get them actually signed up? Oh, yeah, I don't think they need them to, I don't think they need them to review.
You've already collected that. That they're gonna be in front. So long. Yeah.
We can send this out too. I know it's a lot. I tend to throw a lot of information on everybody. All right, so coming back here, we do have some upcoming events. I don't know, Amy, if you want to speak to a couple of them.
You, howdy neighbors. It's that time of year where it's lovely outside and we have a lot of events planned coming up. These two we have a flyer for. The first one, both of these are family friendly events. The first one is in partnership with Land Trip PTO. It's gonna be a movie night featuring Wild Robot, and that's gonna be at Finca, the farm. If you've never been there, it's a great time to go check it out. The PTO will be selling pizza and drinks. It'll benefit their PTO, but it is completely free for the event. The second event we have, repeating this from last year because it was such a success, is the Easter egg hunt. That's gonna be the Saturday before Easter. Ages 12 and under for the hunting, but adults are welcome to come hang out. There might even be a bunny that hops through. And the dates and times are there for that. And then also coming up later this month, March 21st, that's a Saturday. That'll be our Coffee and Conversations series to continue. That's going to be in the morning from 8:30 at Broadmoor Kishmore Park. We don't have a date yet for this tree planting, but we do have some trees that the beautification committee is looking to get into the ground. So if you want to scan this QR and follow us on Instagram, if you're not already following, that's the best way to get updates about events that are happening. And then the last spring event that's on here is going to be our spring fiesta. We host this every year. We would love to see all our neighbors there. This will be our third annual plant swap. So as you're cleaning up your yard right now, or if you have house plants that are bushy and you want to make cuttings, if you want to dig up any of those volunteer plants and put them in a pot and label them, bring them to the plant swap. I've got a couple things still growing from 2 years ago and last year that I got from some of my lovely neighbors. So it's been a fun thing to participate in. And yeah, all the times and the flyer will be out for that in the coming month.
And then, I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but if you do want a tree and you have the ability to take care of it and water it and love on it, talk to Clay. Raise your hand real quick, because he's got some he could potentially get to you rather quickly. So if that's something you're interested in, let him know. So moving on, we've got I'm just showing some of the things that we have that I see. We've got the East Side PIP, we've got the South Central PIP. We've got our super neighborhood meeting, which is always fun. And then, of course, our next ECA meeting here is going to be May the 4th. So this is my first and only opportunity that I get to use the May the 4th with you. So we're going to use it. But I'm a little bit dorky if y'all didn't know. So anyway, I don't know if there's anything y'all are welcome here, but we also have a lot of information on both the super neighborhood Instagram, the ECA super neighborhood. We try to give y'all as much information as possible, but we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to make sure we open it up to the floor. If anybody here has announcements that we haven't heard about, maybe there's something you want us to consider, I'm just opening it up. Come on up. Introduce yourself and let us know what you're up to.
Hello, everyone. My name is Alan Velasquez. I'm the Community Engagement Manager for Buffalo Bayou Partnership. If you have not heard of us, we're an organization that creates and stewards parks, green spaces, and trails along a 10-mile stretch of the bayou. Right now, we're working on our master plan for Buffalo Bayou East. And I'm just here today because this weekend on Saturday, we have partnered with the Smithsonian Museum, more specifically the National Latin American part of the Smithsonian. And we're gonna have a free community day at the Turkey Bend Warehouse, which is located in 5803 Navigation Boulevard. It's from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. and it's a free event for kids and families. So we're gonna have a lot of great music, activities, and I have a lot of flyers, so I can pass them around after this. You're welcome to come. And also my second plug is that we are hiring. So if anybody's interested to work with us, I also have some flyers with a QR code about that. So please let me know. Thank you. Yeah.
And I can't find any clear sort of what is actually open and what's still under. Y'all have an inventory of what's actually now?
Yes, that's a great question. Yes, so our website does have a timeline that you can access if you go to buffalobayou.org. all you have to do is click on visit and then scroll down to Buffalo Bayou East. Once you get to that part, there's a ongoing project and a completed timeline. So if you look at that, that will give you the best idea as to what is completed, what is ongoing at the moment. And we try to keep that information as up to date as possible. So, yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
There's also maybe people where
What was that? What was the website?
ARGIS, ARC.
Oh, our GIS, yeah. That's a good one. All right, so we have one other.
Hi, how are you? Let's see, I have a loud voice. My name is Ms. Kat Moon. I actually have recognized some of you all either during the north side and Easton. So I am an Easton resident. I actually reside right there on the corner of Polk and Sydney Street. I'm about preserving those townhomes. Yes, so over them. But I'm actually a board member on the Greater Northside Chamber of Commerce. That's why when I saw you, I'm looking from Metro, and so we work really well with the constables. And one of my things is, since I'm an Easton resident, I'm also kind of like the bridge between the north side and the east end. So I'm just really excited to be more involved. I do want to kind of invite people, and I will actually going to send you more information. On March 21st, we're kind of having a little private art opening. My goal for the property on that corner is to have a private art house. My background is galas. When NFL came here, I was on the team for all those big galas and everything, but I left the corporate to get back more into the arts, more into nonprofits. So I'm very involved. Usually some people see me, they're like, "You're the girl with the purple hair." I'm like, "Yes." So I'm usually helping out with Bayou City, with Aldine. They're actually part of our chamber. So one of my goals is to do more now, since I've gotten things done over there at our venue that I have, is to work more on the Easton side. So be able to attend more of the meetings, actually working closer with the Easton Chamber as well. So I'd love to just connect with you all, let you know what we're doing on that amazing corner. We kind of have that nice little hub, our little neighbors. So I'm just really excited to do more here and be more visible. So I love people, so this is what you get. I'm just like, hello, and just finding out more information and how we as a community can work more together. So I'm really about that. I usually meet the people that are walking their fur babies. We're gonna have little poop things, so you can like come see the art, hang out with the fur babies, and just be more of a community with the bike club and everything. So I'm just really excited, and I wanted to just say hello again and reach out and start following everyone on socials and being more connected, so you know like what's happening over there, and so you can know. And I will say one of the goals that we're trying to do is have that place kind of be a hub where people want to find out more information. So if they have like different flyers or things about your community, it's just one of those places where they can come, get the Metro trolley right there. I'm trying to actually work with Metro, with Luis. He's on the board with us. To find out more information, how that corner can be safe, because, you know, we do have that washateria that's on that side. We're trying to make the other side more friendly for our kids, our neighborhoods, and our fur babies and everything. So hope to connect more with you all. Thank you so much for speaking.
All right, are there any, oh, come on up. We got one, and then Jeanette. Oh, and then the library.
Hi, I will make this brief. I know we're running out of time. My name is Amanda. My silent partner in the back in the orange is named Chris. We just wanted to introduce ourselves. We have lived in the East End for about 1.5 years, and we are opening a restaurant up the road. We are, I'm sure a lot of you have seen it. We are in the red train caboose on McKinney, right past Cullen. We are going to be an Italian restaurant called Eastwood Station. We will be serving, we make our own pasta, so fresh made pasta, a Roman style pizza, which is very different from anything you see. It's not round, it's actually rectangular. We cut it with scissors. It's a whole thing. We'll also have sandwiches, and then we are gonna have some additional items as we continue to open. We are looking to be family friendly as well as cost friendly. We understand things are tough for everybody right now, but you still want to splurge and go out and spend time with your family. We will be takeout only, but we'll have a turf with plenty of chairs and tables and hopefully a TV so you can watch the game. But we just really wanted to say hi and just, let everybody know that we're coming. We're hoping for about 6 weeks. It was a real struggle with the city, but we're finally over our hurdles and have construction going at a pretty good pace. So we are starting to test out some recipes. And if you follow us, I don't know if you've noticed, we put up a banner with like our social media, so you can follow us. We're posting when we test out some of our sandwiches, and we've done a couple pop-ups and collaborations with different people around the neighborhood. So again, my name is Amanda. That's Chris. He's the chef part. I'm obviously the talker part. And we are, we're really excited, and we hope that you guys will come out and see us once we open. So thanks. No problem.
To you, and then you.
Yep, you're good. Gotcha.
Good evening, everyone. Again, this is Jeanette de los Santos with Metro. And Lindsay did such a great job of talking about the fare system, but I want to kind of mention a couple of things. One, we have a new Metro card. It's called the Ride Metro card, and it will now cost you $2. Before, the Q card was free, but this new card costs $2. The new fare system will make it a lot easier for people to pay. It's a lot more flexible. Some of the upgrades include that if you have one of those cards that you can tap and pay, you can use that on board. You can also use Google Pay and Apple Pay as well. You can pay from within the app. By the way, we also have a new app. It's called the Ride Metro app. So make sure you download that. And then also tomorrow is the election. So Metro is offering free rides to the polls. You can show your voter registration card and take advantage of that. I also want to mention that I don't know how many of you know that Metro launched a new service, a direct bus service from downtown to IAH, Bush Intercontinental Airport, called the Route 500. But now we have also launched the same service from downtown going to Hobby Airport. And that is new as of last month. And then lastly, I want to mention that Metro is installing a permanent Metro Police Station, MPD station, on Harrisburg Boulevard, right across from the Greyhound station. So I know that crime was an issue, especially with the location of that bus depot there. So you're going to see more of our presence there. And that should be opening up around in the spring. So as soon as I get more information, I'll make sure to let you know. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Janice. I'm the manager at Standard Bear Neighborhood Library over on Garcia and Canal. So we don't really have any new programs. The only thing we have new right now is Chess Club for Teens. It's starting this month. We had it, I believe, back in the summer, but then we had to cancel it because of staffing. So we are bringing it back. We're hoping we'll get our teens. So if you have any teens, bring them in. The other thing we do have going on right now is the Houston Health Department is tabling at our location. They're supposed to be there every day, Monday through Friday, for 2 hours. And they are working on they're doing they have a re-entry program for some of our transient populations, or for our transient population. As you guys know, as we all know, the Greyhound bus station has brought more of that population into our area. So they started an initiative, or they were asked to step in and kind of provide assistance. So they are at our location for 2 hours a day, Monday through Friday, helping or trying to, reach out to people. So if you do know of anyone, or if you just are curious, you can come by or send them our way. And then the other, and then the other thing is, if any of you guys know about any events that you would like for us to come out and support, just reach out to the library. We can get like a little table, like for Bayou Partnership, the Buffalo Bayou Partnership, we will actually be attending that as well. So we have that. We have another event at the Hidalgo Park. But if you are interested in having the library come out, we do anything from like a story time to a craft or just do information and sign people up for library cards. You can contact us. I did leave some calendars over there. They have the phone number for the library. You can just call and just ask for me, the manager, Janice, and we'll get that set up for you guys.
Great, thank you. All right, any other announcements? All right, come on up. You should have asked to speak earlier.
Hi, everybody. Marina Guerra with State Representative Christina Morales' office. Real quick, this Saturday is Small Business Saturday. Please go out and support any and all small businesses. We'd really appreciate it. Second of all, March 28th, which is the last Saturday of the month, is the College and Career Day. Sorry, I can't see. And that will be held at the Harris County Department of Education, 6300 Irvington Boulevard, 5th floor. It's in the morning from 9 till 12. Please encourage anybody and everybody with high school age children to come out. It's open to all Houston area schools. Lastly, please, please, please don't forget to vote tomorrow. That's it. Thank you. Have a good day.
I'm actually reading the post of today for Carl, all that.
Okay, sounds good. Yes, if y'all need any information, we'll also send it to Lindsay as well. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, y'all, anything else? All right. Okay, so that means we are officially done. We're gonna call this meeting adjourned. We do have a little bit of time to be able to say, hello to your neighbors, but if you could do me the biggest favor in the world, if some of you really strong men especially want to help me bring chairs back to the tables, I would be very appreciative. So if that's something y'all can help us with on your way out, I'd be thankful. Other than that, y'all have a fantastic evening and we look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you. Thank you. We're on Facebook too.